Hello, beloved bus browsers and coach crazies. This is Jeremy and Matt from Holiday Coach Notto. Today's episode, we're going to tell you about a market update, things of what's going on in the area. Matt, go ahead and kick things off for us.
Guys, thanks for joining. We're going to talk about things to start off with. We're going to talk about the upcoming show. We're also going to talk about tariffs, what those looked like, what those could look like, as well as we're going to talk about shop updates, most importantly, the charter bus update, because that's what drives coach sales. The busier we are, hopefully the more coaches we sell, and I think that's what we're going to see. The charter bus market's looking really healthy. And then, of course, we're going to tie it all together in the overall inventory of what we have and what we forecast is going to look like over the next 30 to 60 days. So, guys, come along for quarter one of 2025 market update. To kick us off, let's talk about the event coming up that many of you guys will be at, and hopefully we see all of you guys there. We'd love to see you at the UMA Expo in Oklahoma City from February 20th through the 23rd, which I believe is Thursday through Sunday. Depending on when this video goes live, you could already be there, or you're flying in today. We hope you have safe travels. We know the weather is going to be a little weird getting there. We hope we make it. We hope you make it. We hope everybody makes it safe, and we look forward to seeing you in our booth. 434. So if you come into the entrance of the exhibit hall, you'll go straight to the back. That's where we're going to be located. And Jeremy's going to show you that here momentarily. To the left of the back, just around the famous Sardo booth that everybody seems to hover around at the past shows that I've been to. And then, of course, we're right below Daimler coaches as well as Prevost up there. So be sure to join us at booth 434. Come by, say hello. We'd love to put a voice or a face with that voice, the name. We would just love to meet you. Of course, if you've never done business with me, we look forward to making new friends as always. So come join us at booth 434 in the Oklahoma City UMA Trade Show coming up this Thursday. So we see you guys there. And moving along, the importance of these organizations of being in UMA at a national level, you have ABA and UMA. Those are very important to join because they advocate for things that we're going to be talking about in this video, like tariffs and the implications those have on our market. They advocate to make sure that we get only the best results. So it's important because you as an individual can have your voice heard by writing to your local congressmen and senators, but you can't get the voice that they're going to have on a large scale. So it's crucial that you join those memberships to have them advocate for you. Of course, on the state level, the NCMA, we're in North Carolina, is where our headquarters is. We're members of North Carolina Motorcoach Association, but every state has a state-level organization. I encourage you to at least be involved in the state level. Usually the fees are a little lower, so definitely encourage your involvement there to start, but also encourage you to join one of the upper-level tiers at the national level as well and pair those together because, guys, it's an operator standpoint. It's just unbeatable what you're going to get, resources there, the classes they have, the knowledge they have, the avocation that they do for you. All of those things are just unmeasurable for your success as an operator, and it's even been very successful for us as a vendor. So please get involved in those organizations. And guys, we'll see you in Oklahoma City here hopefully today or tomorrow whenever you're there. We look forward to meeting with you. But guys, let's jump straight into the video today on tariffs. We got a glimpse into that on February 1st, what that looks like. Right around the beginning of February is where those 24 to 48 hours of uncertainty came into play, whenever tariffs were imposed on Canada, Mexico, and China. Now, China's tariffs, I believe, are still in full effect. I do not believe they were rescinded, but Canada and Mexico got rescinded within about a 24 to 48 hour window. But guys, from a coach sales standpoint, I talked to operators all over the country, and I'll tell you, it was a crazy 24 to 48 hours for us as coach sales. For our clients on the buying and selling side, everybody seemed to just go into complete frantic and scrambling mode. I think ABA was going on during that, so I was talking to operators there. The couple operators that were at ABA that I've talked to said it was absolute chaos, just people freaking out on every level, and rightfully so. What we saw is a lot of a 25% tariff on motor coaches. That's on a new motor coach. It's about $150,000. A 25% tariff on a used coach of say $100,000 is $25,000. So it's not going to be as detrimental if you're looking at used, but where you've got to be careful of is that 25% tariff on new is $150,000. What we saw was a lot of operators that were in the middle of ordering coaches and taking deliveries. 3 or 4 of them that I talked to were scheduled to take deliveries that week. They all paused them. As soon as the tariff went into place, they got the phone call of, hey, if we bring this coach across the border, it's 25% added to the price. All of the operators I talked to unanimously said, you've got to hold the coach. We're not ready to pay 25% more. Let's see how this plays out. Fortunately, 24 to 48 hours is all that went by. However, if it went on for weeks or months, I think that's where you would have seen the disruptions come into play. And that's what we were hearing from our operators of, hey, look, I need my used coach back if I can't get new coaches. So that would drop the inventory down. As well, what you would see is possibly an increase greater than 25% on used. As we said, 25% on used, 150,000, 25% on 100,000, 25,000. I think you're going to see operators pull back. They could buy 2 or 3 coaches for the same amount of money as they would that one coach new, which is going to drop the used coach market. But what's left is going to drive those prices up, which Jeremy will touch on later. But guys, the tariffs and implications, we saw a snapshot of what that looked like. It was absolute chaos. But let's go on to the next slide here, where we're going to talk about what that means as well outside of just purchasing a coach. Look at how much of that coach is made of metal. Right now, I believe that's currently in effect is tariffs on metal coming into the country. That's affecting things of repairs of that nature. If you bottom out one of those coaches, something gets damaged. Look at that. I mean, that picture, that coach is majority made of metal and wood, which is, we have active tariffs on all of those coming into the country right now. So repairs, costs, and all of that nature, while these tariffs in place, are going to be a little bit higher. So those are things to account for whenever you're doing pricing strategies and things of that nature, but also parts ordering and stockpiling. And guys, we all know what happened in 2020. That roll of toilet paper right there almost shut the country down. I don't know why, but everybody rushed to the supermarket, rushed to Costco. They just ripped all the toilet paper off of the shelves, which created a demand or a supply issue because there wasn't much toilet paper to grab. But when there was, we saw people price gouging on what was left, reselling it on the resale market on eBay and Amazon. It was just absolute nuts. But I think we're going to see that in parts as well if these tariffs are here to stay. The operators, I think, are going to start stocking up on a lot of these metal parts, a lot of these parts they're afraid they're going to have to pay 25% more on. I do know that there are several larger operators that are stockpiling parts now out of fear of them becoming unavailable or the fear of having to pay 25% more. So no, I'm not saying in this video go out and order every part off of every shelf that you can. But what I am saying is be mindful of that. You should stock up a couple parts that you may need, common turbos or belts and hoses, things that you think you're going to need to get you through the spring. I would definitely have a couple extra ones of those on hand. One, not to just offset the cost increase if it does happen or stay in effect, but to make sure that you have it. So that would be one tip that I've got, because right here that Jeremy's showing you now, we do have a tariff plan in place for the end of this month. There was only a 30-day pause on the Canadian and Mexico tariffs, and we do expect those to come back because I don't think that what Trump wanted to see has happened. I mean, honestly, in the headlines, I try to stay out of politics, I try to stay out of news, but I really haven't heard of anything really changing in Canada and Mexico that would lead me to believe that Trump's going to be happy and not impose more tariffs. But we also, just on February 13th, he put out another document that talks about the fair and reciprocal plan on trade, which means he's got those plans for future tariffs, but I think that's where the tariffs that are in effect now on the steel and lumber, I think that's where those actually went into effect. So those are just things to think about as we continue on. This right here is a chart that shows what those proposed tariffs may be on just China. There weren't a lot of clear ones on Canada and Mexico, as I think those were negotiating tactics, but he definitely imposed them, so it shows that he will impose them again. But this is kind of what that looks like. I mean, it's large swings of cost. So those are things that are going to drive into the used bus market, because anything that happens to the new coach market is going to trickle down to the used coach market, and supply and demand is going to be affected. So guys, that's kind of all that I want to say on tariffs. We shot a whole market update video back when this happened, and it quickly became so irrelevant we had to put pause and wait till things stabilized to shoot this video. But that's all we pretty much got to say on tariffs. So let's wrap up there.
So, Matt, I'll take over here. We're talking about tariffs and the price of things going up. Excuse me. One thing I've been talking about is people up in Canada, some of the operators we speak with up there. And in speaking with some of you, I've heard you say, Jeremy, the reason we're not looking to buy right now is just the value of the dollar, the exchange rate. We're not getting what we want out of it. So, I was looking around doing some research because I thought, well, there is some validity to that. But looking right now, as the moment we're taping this video, one US dollar is going for about 70 cents for a Canadian dollar. And that's just trending. If you look historically for the past few years, back from 2012, you see the graph, it's going down. The highest recently was one US dollar for 83 Canadian dollars, 83 cents rather than to say. The last time that was done was back in 2013, somewhere around there, that is to say. But the last time it was at parity, 1 for 1, was back around 2012, something like that area. So it's not trending very well. So if you're looking to make the most out of your Canadian dollar, now's the best time to move because of that. But you see here on the chart, there's just that traditional downward path that we see. Now, while we hope to be back on parity, it's got a long way to go there. And just think of all the times that you're not making these trips that you need. So looking ahead and talking about supply and demand and getting the most for your money, as supply goes up, the demand goes down. Matt was telling you about the toilet paper. We all went through that shortage and saw how there was people pushing for it, and you weren't getting the most that people were overcharging. So now is the time where you want to go ahead and make that move to make the most of what you have. So speaking about making the most of what you have, Matt's going to tell us about how things are kind of starting to look busier in certain months. Go ahead, Matt.
But what's driving supply and demand is these 3 months right here on the screen now is March, April, and May. Those are the busiest 3 months out of the entire charter bus season, I think, for the entire country. And we've talked to charter bus companies in each of those regions in the country because we have that luxury of being able to buy and sell for you guys. I think we've done deals in every state aside from Hawaii. So we have relationships in every state. And I've called around on several of those to make sure that I got a good segment, a good information from each segment of the country. And the one thing that unanimously was important, reported from those every single operator I interviewed, is how busy they're expecting March, April, and May to be. These interviews were done in the beginning of February, around the timing of the first market update video that we tried to do that we talked about before. Tariffs kind of botched that up. So, but the data, we're still interviewing a couple people as we're selling and making deals this past week, and everything's still unanimous that March, April, and May, they're seeing bookings at levels that they haven't seen before. They're seeing that the school groups, the big tournaments, whatever travel that occurs in that time period, the military, everything is kind of just like the perfect storm, kind of like what we were talking about earlier with tariffs and all that could create a used bus inventory market. The perfect storm happens every single March, April, and May without a doubt, and it's the busiest time of the year, and people are reporting record bookings for those deals already this far out. We also know as an operator that March, April, and May, a lot of last-minute bookings occur as well, so it's only going to get busier. But a lot of our operators are saying that they're already sold out on more dates for March, April, and May, and early February, and up to the day of this video than they have been in years past. So I think that that's a pretty good sign that the market is going to drive. Throughout the year, we look at having, the winter slows. I do have a couple of my operators that are a little newer to the game, or some of my medium-sized operators a little fearful for the outlook because they're really slow right now. That's historical. December and January and February are typically slow months, but then it just goes wide open coming around March 1st. It just takes off like a rocket going into space. Don't get left behind. Your competitors that have been in the industry for longer than 5 or 10 years, they know this trend. They're ready for this trend. They've been gearing up for this trend ever since January. And what you can be doing is making sure that your fleet is where you want it to be. If you're already having those sold out dates, March, April, and May, but you're not busy today, focus on March, April, and May and determine, could I add another bus or two to my fleet to be able to capitalize on that extra revenue? The answer is yes, and the answer is you should absolutely be doing that now, not later. If you're financing, that takes time. You can't buy, if you need a bus for the first weekend in March, you're not going to get that bus the first weekend in March if you start looking then. You need to start looking probably now, possibly mid next week's going to start getting tight to be able to get that done and efficient, because you've got to go look at the bus, you've got to go inspect it, you've got to finance it, insurance, all these things take a couple days, even if you're rushing it. A cash buyer, you can buy it 24 to 48 hours quick as you can get to the bus to get it, but you got to get it home, get it decaled up, whatever you want to do before you put it in service. So guys, we're running out of time. The spring is just around the corner. And then from what I'm hearing, it's going to be the busiest one probably of my lifetime. So guys, that's what we've got on the charter market update. Everything's looking really positive. I think it's going to probably drop inventory just as it does every single year. As we go from January, February, we're building inventory to probably usually the highest it is for the entire year. March, April, and May pretty much wipe that out entirely. We have one of the lowest points going into the summer to rebuild that up about half usually. Guys, if you're in the market for a coach, now I'm getting that as the time to buy for the spring. Get that additional revenue, grow your business, utilize that busy time to make those early payments and make it worthwhile. But guys, let's continue on. Looking at this coach, this is preventative maintenance. Be doing that now, but also to tie into what we were talking about earlier, make sure you have your belts, your hoses, your common parts that your coaches are going to need to get you through that busy spring. Because you can have the busiest spring on the books, but if you can't service it, you can't capitalize on it. So be sure that you've got parts in stock, again, belts, hoses, common failure points. Make sure you're stocking those up, not just to save money in case of a tariff, but actually to have it ready to go to keep you on the road so that way you can have a successful spring. And then continuing along, I want to take a quick break here to talk about how you can connect with us. Obviously, you can pick up the phone and call us, text us, email us, all that. Of course, look at our YouTube channel. It's probably where you're watching this video, but be sure to subscribe to the channel. Turn the bell notification on. This is where we're going to post walk-arounds, walkthroughs. We're going to show engine running of coaches for sale. It's where this market update video is and where these styles of videos occur. Educational series on there. This spring, once it's warm, we're going to start talking about things like financing tips, insurance tips. We're going to be unrolling a consulting package. We're going to be unrolling tips and tricks of that to engage and show you what that package has to offer so we can grow with you. On YouTube, it's Holiday Coach and Auto Sales. As well over on Facebook, it's the same way. If you look at our Facebook page, we do have a page and an account, which we'll show later, but the page is Holiday Coach and Auto Sales. Be sure to follow and like so that way you stay up to date. Of course, then you can also friend the account. We found that this is another way to better stay in touch. So just click Add Friend on that. That is just a typical account like you have for yourself. It's for us, so stay in touch with us doing that. But guys, let's continue back on with what we were talking about. Let's wrap up today's video with inventory, because that's what we are known for as a dealership. That's what Jeremy and I do 24 hours a day. I do it 7 days a week. He does it 5 days a week. But we're always here when you need us, and inventory is what we specialize in. So the inventory right now is at a very healthy level. I think we're sitting at just over 55 available units. We've got units from Prevost, MCI, Van Hool, Setra, Temsa, Ford, Chevy. We've got something from about every single brand. We've also got something from about every single size. And yep, you guessed it, from about every single price range. We have built one of the most extensive inventories we've ever had. And it's all for you guys, because we understand that your success equals our success. We can't do this without you. And we need to build you and make sure that you're successful so we're successful. It's very important to us. We served over 100 of you guys on the buying and selling side last year. We would love to double that this year, but we just definitely want to increase it. And we can't do that without you. So let us know if we don't have a coach that you're looking for. Let us know what we need to add. We'll search it out. We do have some coaches coming. We talk about those about every Friday. I believe we're going to start doing a price drops, and as well as new inventory listings updates. Be sure to catch that. That was the importance of staying connected on those social media platforms. But guys, inventory is at a really great level right now. And like I said earlier in the video, that's expected. January and February builds inventory. March and April usually wipe it out. So all these coaches that you're seeing are not probably going to make it through the spring. Especially if the perfect storm happens. We talked about tariffs and we talked about a busier than usual spring. If those two things come together, I'm not sure what inventory is going to look like in the used coach market, but what's there goes back to Jeremy's chart of supply and demand. Supply is going to drop from an all-time high to possibly an all-time low. Demand's going to stay up there, and then what you're going to see is that price soar. We saw a glimpse of that for 24 to 48 hours, and it was very worrisome. But I think that's probably going to come back into play, but let's hope not. But the perfect storm is out there. Don't let that affect your business growth. Jeremy and I are here to help you out. We're here to help you out with financing, insurance, delivery, consulting, the paint jobs, finding out which coach is right for you. We're not going to push you into a coach with aggressive sales tactics. What we're going to do is talk to you, learn about your business, learn about your goals, learn about your dreams, and then we're going to try to help guide you into the right coach. It's not the right one for us because we're not commission-based. We want to sell you whichever coach is the right coach for you. And right now is one of the best times to do that because we have almost endless options to put you in. But that inventory is going to start dropping. So be sure to go ahead and do that sooner rather than later. But guys, to wrap up today's video, we hope to see you guys at UMA. Again, that's coming up this Thursday through Sunday. Come by our booth 434. We'd love to see you. We'd love to meet you. We'd love to put a friendly face with that name and voice that we've already come to know and hopefully done business with you. I know there's going to be a lot of customers here that haven't done business with us before. Whether you know us or not, stop by the booth. Let us tell you about what we can do to help you with your fleet management, buying and selling, financing, delivery, consulting, whatever you need. As a dealer, we're able to offer services that a lot of you guys as operators can't. In the past, that wasn't as big of an issue, but right now we're going to do a whole different video series on the financing and how to work that and set yourself up for that. But one of the big things I'm seeing is financing no longer wants to work with private parties. They're wanting to work with dealers or someone that they can build that relationship with and know that the paperwork's going to be done right, the money's going to be exchanged right, the coach is going to be turned over in the condition of promise. And a lot of the banks are reporting to me they're moving away from private party transactions. And you as a commercial operator, yes, you're a business, but they view as private party transactions. You're not a dealer. You don't have that relationship where you work with them throughout the year. So that's where we can step in and help you move your coach make that easy so you can focus on that busy spring. A lot of our operators are still selling coaches throughout the spring, especially towards the end. And, you can keep focusing on your day-to-day activities while we do all the heavy lifting and getting your coach sold and getting distraction. But guys, won't keep you. Hope you have a great time. You may be if you're watching this video on Wednesday, hopefully you're gearing up for Thursday. If you're watching on Thursday, hope you're traveling safe. The weather's not affecting you. Hopefully we're going to see you in Oklahoma City at booth 434, as well as all the events. Be sure to say hi to us when you see us. We're here to talk to you. We're here to help you out in any way we can. And guys, we'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for tuning in on the market update. For future market updates, we may do smaller segments throughout the quarter, but we're going to do one of these a quarter. Be sure to let Jeremy and I know what topics you want to see, what topics you feel are impacting your business that you would like us to research, hot events, daily events, whatever it may be. Let us know what we can include in these videos to make them as most beneficial to you, because that's what we're here for. We don't do these videos for us. We do it for you guys. So guys, see you in Oklahoma City. Jeremy, take us out.
Yeah, 336-808-0320 is our phone number. Our site, as you see here, holidaycoachandauto.com.
Holiday Coach sells it all. Buying or selling, you've got to call 336-808-0320. Insurance and finance, we can do that too. Go to